So,
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour for Saturday evening, Saturday, September 8th, 2018. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by, folks. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for giving us some time. All right, we know it's valuable. We know you're busy, and that's where we come in. We come in here to try to give you guys facts, quick, to the point, with the update videos. But here tonight, we got a little something different. Again, we're going to do a little Neon Revolt article. Very good, something that kind of puts some pieces together for a lot of you trying to figure all this out. And typically, we're at the tip of the spear moving forward with all the information, but once in a while, it's a slow evening. We ain't got any new Q post, anything huge breaking, and we can take the minute here to do a little episode on some history. All right, we believe it's really important, and at any given time when we can, we'll put out things that we believe are pertinent to what's going on. All right, we got Ben with us again. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, maybe toggle the switch to work with you and your device, to notify you in a manner so when we put out a video or we eventually maybe go live, you'll get alerted. All right. Okay, so let's check in here with Ben, see how he's doing. All right, got the music up a little loud.
Nice. It's all good. Good to see you tonight, brother.
All right. All right, we are here. Yes, Ben. We got Ben in the studio. How you doing this evening?
Gonna be in the studio. Tell it in the studio tonight with your brother.
All right, good to have you with us again, Ben. Me and Ben's story goes back to college, back in 07, going through information technology, network security, Linux, Windows Server, all that. So
all the good IT stuff.
All the good IT stuff. Tonight, though, we're going to be getting into a Neon Revolt article, Skull and Bones, folks. All right. I don't know how many times in all of our research have we come across this kind of stuff, but
yeah, no, we know I've all seen that where Q post and even with Serial Brain talking about 322 and then the opposite of that, the fighting back, the 223 and different numbers and the symbology. And we've talked many times before, not obviously on different shows before, but offline many times about, they don't really, not so much. They do use outright and tell you what they are and blah, blah, blah. And they'll tell you words in movies or music or things like that. But more so than not, they'll use symbols and symbology as a means of communication because it can convey many different things to very few different people. Yeah,
it's like their hidden language, folks. They're in the wide open and plain sight. They communicate symbols. They have double meanings. They've perverted everything. And they like to do it in their movies and their signage across the towns, the businesses they own, to when they invest in the movies and their ideas get put into the movies. Sometimes it goes over people's heads, lower level. Not everybody's 100% complicit, but at the highest levels they are. So, okay, let's jump into this article here. This came out. Is this part 2 again? September 4th. Let me see here. Keeps taking me through a circle right here. Okay. So we are going to read part 2 here, but it's kind of makes sense to go over part 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Skull and Bones, Secret Societies, the Palladian, right? Palladian.
Yeah, Palladian. Yeah.
Palladian. August 23rd, 2018 by Neon Revolt. So I'll kick it off here. Just a quick preface before we begin. What follows is often disjointed, and I do get very frustrated at one point. But I think there are some really important nuggets here, and there's a lot of intrigue. So as as always, I will do my best to present my best understanding to you. Understanding to you now. Now, I originally wanted to get this article out the door sooner, but to be frank, I think I experienced some major burnout. The article you see here are just a fraction of the work I do. Before reading everything I can on the boards, researching, handling store orders, and tending to a community across more than 3 platforms, yeah, I burn out pretty hard and took a few days off. Didn't even check notifications for anything, and I have about 80 comments pending on my own site alone right now. It's not even just the amount of work, but the subject matter. This is often tough stuff we're dealing with here. Satanic ritual abuse, human trafficking, human sacrifice, cannibalism, etc., so on, so forth. That delay was also compounded by how much original research I had to compile here to make sense of these very cryptic drops. I've also got stuff here you literally won't read anywhere else because no one else has dug up what I have here today. And I hope you understand that I'm not complaining. I just needed a little balance in my life. And my upcoming vacation can't come soon enough. And yes, I know there have been 2 new Q drops, but let's face it, they were pretty simple to understand on their own. I'll track them onto a new post whenever QAnon starts dropping again. With all that in mind, get ready because we're about to go deep. Okay, folks, that was just a little preface of, burning out. We can understand that, all right? A little bit of balance in his life. And stuff gets pretty dark here. Satanic rituals, human trafficking, human abuse in general, cannibalism, we get it. So, all right, let's move forward here, but beware. Again, we're touching into some subjects tonight that can be very shocking to some people's being in general. So
it will shatter some people's reality of sorts. And again, we're kind of on this track because this is where this is going. So we're trying to bring some light into the darkness here.
That's right. You can only know if you hear about it and get a little understanding. All right, so I'll let me see here. So with all that in mind, get ready because we're about to go deep. All right, we're going to do our best here to get over most of all this here. A little picture of Hillary kind of over what Baphomet's face or something.
Yeah, this is a bronze statue, I believe, in Arkansas or something like that. The Temple of Satan. I don't know exactly what state it's in, but this was it was a church, a satanic church. They had a huge bronze effigy to the Baphomet. But an intriguing Anon came to the other night and dropped crumbs for 3 days. I've been keeping tabs on him, following along, and trying to capture everything I saw. Because he doesn't have a secure trip code, I had to go by style, tone, and content. As with all so-called helpers, I'm not concerned so much with vetting them as much as I am concerned with examining the information they present. So this, with the standard boilerplate disclaimers, YMMV, take it or leave it. With that said, I am dubbing this particular Anon the Skull and Bones Anon, or the SKB Anon for short. The background of all of this and the event that prompted the Skull and Bones Anon to start his drops was moving from 1-ton bronze Baphomet statue to Little Rock, Arkansas. Wow, okay. Man.
Wow. So that is Little Rock, Arkansas.
Arkansas. Okay. So okay.
To click on that.
Temple. Whoa, brings Baphomet statue to Arkansas for rally. Ooh.
Wow. The Satanic Temple temporarily placed a bronze statue of a goat-headed winged creature called Baphomet at the Arkansas State Capitol during a rally to call for the removal of the 10 Commandments monument already mounted on Capitol grounds.
Now keep this in mind, folks. Towards the end of this entire Neon Revolt article. This is going to tie in very key to what's happening in Little Rock, Arkansas, and around that area. So we can keep on going, but just kind of hold this in the back of in your mind, why this bronze statue was just being presented for, a protest. I mean, that's a bronze statue. It's not small.
Exactly. All right, the Satanic Temple brings Baphomet statue to Arkansas for rally. Just kind of read that on the Fox News. They placed a temporarily statue there while they are in a rally to call for the removal of the Ten Commandments. So Little Rock, Arkansas, the Satanic Temple temporarily placed a bronze statue of a goat-headed winged creature called Baphomet at the Arkansas State Capitol during a rally to call for the removal of a Ten Commandments monument already mounted on Capitol grounds. About 150 Satanists, atheists, and Christians attended the First Amendment rally Thursday. The Satanic Temple says the Ten Commandments monument violates constitutional freedom of religion rights, and that the installation of their 7.5 foot tall, 2.3 meter tall statue showing the 14th century idol seated and accompanied by smiling children would demonstrate religious tolerance.
Wow, oh my gosh. And all this led to the first appearance of the Skull and Bones Anon on Friday night, there with the ID code of 27792A. And then, man, here we go.
So we had some S&B style org shut down, secrets out, Clinton's connected. No LARP, check the papers, documented, Clinton's connected down the street, statue already discussed. Which papers? Yes, Arkansas is key, see who pays no taxes, 501. It's all on paper there.
501c3s.
501c3, look up. .org, Arkansas, 4,425 records found.
Page 1 of 1,312, wow. SKB Anon is hard to follow, especially at these are subject in which I am not as well versed as others, but I'll try to organize what I can glean from above posts. There's a Skull and Bones affiliated organization that is being exposed, possibly related to the DOJ plan the other day. And this S&B organization is connected to the Clinton Foundation in some way. It runs as a non-profit. Moving the Baphomet statue there is a distraction to direct attention away from what is happening to this organization's right now. He talked about winners and losers from the Farm Bill, the Minas shutting down. The lines about the summit are not ones that confuse me the most. Summit and the no voices heard at summit, as well as false claims and psychotropic dispense, or psychopic dispense. I don't know if that's how to pronounce that well. I'm pretty sure we'll get corrected.
Psychotropics.
Dispensed, which would be like, some type of hallucinating drugs dispensed throughout whoever, are very vague. I'm in no reference point for these lines. I think he thought Anons understood, when there was no evidence to indicate that they did. Regardless, it looks like SKB Anon's main contention is that the area around Little Rock is a major hub for cabal-affiliated activity, and one group in particular is in the process of being exposed. Let's tackle the Farm Bill for a second. Go hit that Farm Bill real quick, brother.
Let me see here.
I think it was the 2019 Farm Bill.
Where's it at?
Right there, yep. The 2019 Farm Bill is a gigantic, I'm thinking hundreds of pages. As for the losers on it, one stands out in particular.
Farm animal politics. We're so plucked. Coyotes and foxes welcome. Farmland security.
Watchdog free zone.
Who wins and who loses? A guide to the 2019 Farm Bill. Who wins and loses? A guide to the 2019 Farm Bill. That's a lot of...
think if you go back to Neon Revolt, he'll quickly explain the article in a nutshell.
So kill the flagship international food aid program, Food for Peace, which is operated by the Agency of International Development Aid to save $1.6 billion in 2019. Aid has stated that the Food for Peace program has provided food assistance around the world for more than 50 years. Approximately 3 billion people in 150 countries have benefited directly from U.S. food assistance. The purpose of the Food for Peace Act is to 1. Combat world hunger, 2. Promote sustainable agricultural development, 3. Expand international trade, 4. Foster the development of private enterprise and democracy in developing countries, 5. Prevent conflicts. The Food for Peace Act governs concessional sales of U.S. agricultural commodities to developing countries, as well as providing for the direct donation of U.S. agricultural commodities for emergency relief and development programs. U.S. Aid runs the Food for Peace program, and if I had to guess, I imagine they're not helping people as much as they would like you or I to believe. Though I don't have any evidence to back that bit of speculation up currently, whatever he's saying. There's also this bit. Eliminate not just premium subsidies, but also commodity payment to farmers who have adjusted gross incomes of more than $500,000, which is to be determined by a means test. Crop insurance is purchased by agricultural producers, including farmers, ranchers, and others, to protect themselves against either the loss of their crop due to natural disasters such as hail, drought, and floods, or the loss of revenue due to declines in prices of agricultural commodities. The private companies are obligated to sell insurance to every eligible farmer who requests it and retain the risk of the policies written. The USDA subsidizes a farmer paid premiums to reduce their cost. Handouts for hard up rural folk.
At these
What
people,
is this?
children of the founder of Walmart, senator, you got the commerce secretary and billionaire, rock star, founder of CNN, private equity manager. I mean, you got it's pretty big people, and it goes over all spectrums. You know, and Mina out of business, Mina, Arkansas, that would imply that there's some kind of crime being carried out in that place. And it is just so happens a 1995 issue of Penthouse, of all places, talked extensively about CIA operations out of Mina, Arkansas. Don't worry, this isn't a Pink House link. This is someone who copied the text of the story. It's all text. What really happened, the crimes of Mina.
So that's going to do with the Barry Seal, the movie. If you guys have seen it, American, Tom Cruise played in it, but I can't remember, American something, American Spy, American Dream.
Oh, yeah, something
But
like
Barry
that.
Seal, gun runner, drug trafficker, and covert CIA operative extraordinaire, is hardly a familiar name in the American politics. But 9 years after he was murdered in a hail of bullets by Medellin cartel hitmen outside a Salvation Army shelter in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, he has come back to haunt the reputations of 3 American presidents. Seal's legacy includes more than 2,000 newly discovered documents that now verify and quantify much of what previously had been only suspicion, conjecture, and legend. The documents confirm that from 1981 to his brutal death in 1986, Barry Seal carried one of the most lucrative, extensive, and brazen operations in the history of the international drug trade, and that he did it with the evident complicity, if not collusion, of elements of the United States government. Apparently, with the acquiescence of Ronald Reagan's administration. That movie shows all that, but man, impunity from any subsequent exposure of George Bush's administration, and under the usually acute political nose of the Arkansas governor, Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
So I have to take a minute on that. That movie, if you guys, even the one before that, so this starts with, what's the one with Johnny Depp where he's, gets to be a big time, meets up with the cartels, starts dealing with the cartels. But Barry Sills is briefly in that movie because that's who they hire. And then they end up making the movie American Made with Tom Cruise, who plays Barry Sills and shows all about the pilot. And this is that story. Yeah, crazy stuff down in Arkansas. They actually were training, not just doing the drug flow, but they started bringing in these people and training them in guerrilla warfare. And here in Arkansas, they were doing that. Unbelievable.
Yes. It's amazing the fact that, yes, they have her, guerrilla warfare training in Arkansas, and our government's involved in it. And we should say more appropriately,
I think it was like Nicaraguans or something. I can't remember who they were bringing in, but
who knows? We're trying to fight against Pinochet or the guerrilla warriors out there fighting against the latest regime that they wanted to conquer and put their own in. So, Dennis Hopper and Made for TV did one.
Yeah, they did a Made for TV. The newly unearthed papers show the real Seal is far more impressive and well connected than the character played by Dennis Hopper in a made-for-TV movie some years ago, loosely based on the smuggler's life. But, all right, so what do we have here? Go ahead and kick off from here.
The SKB Anon continued in the next thread. This time is ID 3C7CC0. And it says, Keck indeed, which is a little green frog. Glad to see another Anon entertaining this. It's weirdly flying by with little attention, in particular from shills, which should be the cause of the point was distract. Or is it just another flavor? Still not sure, but it's worth the read. So, abuse, the prisoners have been ongoing, linked to CF, not sure. Many other links mentioned either, though. It says prisoners, children, Gov, complicit and facilitated, run by Clintons, and there's the PB, LR, Roland, Conway, Mina, FS, Fay, pipeline. Maybe the actual pipeline was founded. Heads roll when Skull and Bones is exposed. SKB Anon confirms at the very least that the organization he's describing is involved in human trafficking and gives what looks like a trafficking route. To pull one post out of order, there is a list of abbreviations he confirmed. And this was in the some anonymous, and he put, who is PB, who is LR, who is FS, who is WS. Another post by that same Anon, not the original poster, but I believe they are referring to Pine Bluff, Little Rock, and maybe Forest City, and WS could be Wall Street. There may be too cryptic, wish they'd be a little more straightforward. Then, of course, down below, another Anon, another post from the same Anon. Go ahead, and he puts Pine Bluff, Little Rock, Fort Smith, WS, and CB gives $2 million from WNB to campaign. So that would, in turn, read Pine Bluff to Little Rock to Roland to Conway to Mina to Fort Smith to Fayetteville Express Pipeline. Here's what the route roughly looks like on a map.
There it is.
Okay. So the Pine Bluff, Little Rock, Mina. Okay, Little Rock, Arkansas. You can kind of see that that's like full. Okay, let's see if we get the full size.
There it is.
That's the full entire route it goes up into. Wow.
Pine Bluff A, B, C.
And then Conway D.
Mena.
Down to Mina. Mena. Wow.
Fayetteville.
Huh. Let's go all back down there. Trying to get down a little bit here after that one post. You see that? It's pretty crazy up the actual route they were taking. You can see See the Pine Bluff. Okay, so WS will later be revealed to be Warren Stevens of Stevens Incorporated. And it says worth 2.6 billion. Stevens Incorporated. His Little Rock Investment Bank was founded by his uncle Whit, 1933. His father Jackson joined in 46. Outfit underwrote Walmart's public offering in 1970. The brothers plowed their earnings into private equity, Hewing Investment, Wimp, and Caprice. Stevens Group in business became CEO in 1986. Bought out his cousin's 206. Stevens sold his holdings, including the Las Vegas Riviera Jew, for $400 million in 2015. His Wikipedia entry also notes, during the 2016 elections, Stephen and his brother Jackson Stevens were major financial supporters of the Stop Trump movement. And we know he's part of at least one secret society, the Kappa Beta Phi. Or Pi, excuse me. However you want to pronounce that.
So inside Wall Street's most secret society, the billionaire banker fraternity, where cross-dressing new members make jokes about Hillary Clinton and drunkenly mock the financial crisis. Some of the performances seemed to skirt the edge of taste as Warren Stevens, an investment banking CEO, went on stage in a Confederate flag hat and sang a song referencing the financial crisis to the tune of Dixie. So it's not out of the question that he would be involved in potentially other organizations. Anon Ventures, a guest at SKB Anon's mysterious trafficking organization, HMA. So I'm late to the game and trying to catch up. HMA, it seems more and more that like Little Rock and Mena, Arkansas, ended up being the satanic capital of all of this evil. No real re-entry, still for sale. HMA never died. Went to 501 for Clinton Foundation facilitation. Changed forms, thousands died, new tests developed, government complicit in it all. It's very unclear what SKB Anon meant by no real re-entry, because the Anon he was talking to was just compiling links to his previous post. I have to speculate that he was responding to someone else and made an error with the link. And my best guess is the Anon above, because it carries the HMA thread. But for those unfamiliar, Health Management Associates, Arkansas company, Wikipedia. The Health Management Associates scandal refers to the sale of tainted blood from HMA, a now defunct American company based in Arkansas, to Canadian blood banks. HMA was contracted by the state of Arkansas to provide health care to prisoners in the state of Arkansas in the early to mid 1980s. This arrangement allowed HMA to collect blood from prisoners. The blood, some of it proven to be infected with HIV and hepatitis C, was found in the Canadian blood supply. It was not found in American supplies because of a ban on prisoner blood use. The president of the HMA at the time was Leonard Dunn, close friend of Bill Clinton and Vince Foster. He chaired Clinton's re-election campaign and was appointed by Clinton to the Arkansas Industrial Development Commission. Foster committed suicide on July 20th, 1993. Conspiracy theorists have tried to link his death to HMA and Whitewater scandal to prove he was murdered. Interesting that he says the company never shut down and went into non-profit mode for the Clinton Foundation.
And of course, another anonymous states, statue is cover, distraction technique, WS funded through CW and DD, used membership fees. So Stevens funded the moving of the Baphomet statue to Little Rock. I'm thinking CW and DD are names of organizations, because SKB Anon here says WS used the membership fees for these organizations to fund the moving of the statue, though no one has currently figured out what was meant by that either. Then he has another Anon picture here. that states a worthy endeavor. I agree. But of course, heads roll when skull bones are exposed. Okay, worthy endeavor. Other one says still one jury slide wise, but is more fun than a lot of other things. Last bread, Foya, Mina, this bread. Who built S and B's clubhouse and pipeline? WS. Some who founded campaign. Ooh, IPO money. Incorporated 501. Who cut down all the trees and sold the land? Okay, so the pattern gets a bit clear now. Refer to human trafficking pipeline mapped up above. SKB Anon is alleging that there are fraternal lodges, or Masonic organizations along this route, which help facilitate human trafficking. And of course, another Anon goes to post, little help with WS? If not a name, clue where to look. And of course, they go on to say, Arkansas 501 FOIA. Another Anon said, look downtown. Back to WS. Mystery already solved. Moving on. So it says, look downtown. Another one, the other Anon says, thanks. Be careful. Lots there, but maybe others will look into. Then Arkansas Anon Wild Skull and Bones Blood Slides Special. Come and drink. Come and get it. Defunct the diss all about previous threads. So the other one states in the last one says, always careful. Think I'm taking a selfie. Nope. Taking pic of something I shouldn't. WS got tired of going to Georgia. Built his own masters. S&B clubhouse included. Interesting. Whoa. So then the last one says, refer to previous daytime bread with map of heifer intel. CSPS equals Clinton School of Public Service. Good place to start.
Wow. Anons had been digging on Heifer International earlier that day and had turned up some unusual things. The short of it is, Heifer is a charity that purports to give cattle and livestock to the poor overseas. So, for instance, they'll track down a rural farmer who is struggle to feed his family and give him a goat. The goat gives milk, eventually meat, and helps them out for a time. Of course, empty livestock crates that you can move freely across borders would be incredible cover for human trafficking operation. And they headquartered in Little Rock.
Wow.
Jeez. The Heifer International Foundation ships live animals across the world. They are headquartered in Little Rock, Arkansas, immediately next to the office of the Clinton Library and Museum Office. And their BOD are ex-executives of Hillary Rawls' law firm, CNN, Bill and Melinda Gates, and large donors that support a program that sends live chickens to poor people. They are located in Kenya, Haiti, Myanmar, and other poverty-stricken countries. That what could go wrong with a charity that ships livestock around the world? Sits right on top of the Clinton Library and is funded by Bill Gates.
Wow. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Here's some of the directors, I think. All directors come from a wide range of backgrounds, businesses.
Agricultural, academic, private sectors, all from following directors impeding from more and more. I mean, there's Stephen Young, Thomas, Darren Dodson.
Too many coincidences, if you ask me. It's no wonder Anons were paying attention to it. Back to SKB Anon. So we got some more 501s, FOIAs, got more. What's going on next? So much more. Decades of emails. Have to be careful. Risky if I do dox myself. Anons deserve to know, though. So I've seen too much. Still building connects. All go through the Clinton Foundation and CEO, COO, and SI oil companies too. CSPS in LA. LR is Farm for Talent. Spies all over the places there, and the WHBLS across the street. See earlier breads for heifer details, all connected. CSPS, Clinton School of Public Service for the record, and here's a map showing that.
Kind of goes along some of the other routes that he gave the map up earlier of kind of showing the other routes. Kind of interesting. Says, I'm not sure what the WBLS is.
Let me see here.
The
Jumping ahead a
campaign.
little. The campaign of 92. Today's 2 days before, bitterly re-elected in 90. For governor.
See where it currently still works for it. You can tell this really goes deep, folks. There's a lot of stuff into this. So it's building a case of the Clintons being around a lot of this stuff, and that they're working with not only probably Masonic temples along the route, and they're having their hands in the international with, you know, food to the hungry. Well, chickens and goats, that looks like, you know, humans can fit in the same thing, and they fall under live trafficking. I mean, you know, not so much trafficking, but live shipping. That'd be like, it's a lot of paperwork to get an animal shipped overseas, unless you're a foundation and not for profit. You know, these huge shipments come in, and, you know, maybe a few chickens, a few children, and, you know, a couple of sacrifices to get ready for the landing or whatever. I mean, these people are that sick, and they're using, you know, these guys and people like Bill Gates and it's not what we're saying. This is, he's one of the founders, one of the people who gives money to, allows them to buy the planes, buy the chickens, buy the cages that facilitate, that can give food and water during a long period of time, because they're, you know, these live, you know, these live animals they're shipping require some type of care over a long period of time. Of course, this can be a flight from like here to Malaysia.
Yeah, this is a great article. I knew it was gonna. I mean, this would probably take 2 hours, honestly, folks.
Of course,
it's huge.
of course.
We're already at the 40-minute mark. I'm gonna definitely leave that link there. But in a nutshell, I know we both went over it. What is the huge connection at the end? I think we saw the Springmeyer pyramid again, even in this article.
Yeah, I mean, this is going into, they're not who they say they are, people, you know, and we're talking everything from MK Ultra and them doing all this. This goes to, you know, let me see here. This says, if you can even keep on going down a little bit here, Little Rock, Arkansas, became what is it? Albert Pike became a master mason of the Blue Lodge, the Western Star Lodge #2 in Little Rock, Arkansas. So there's a lot of history in Arkansas. With not only that, you have the Hot Springs boyhood home of President Bill Clinton, the Hot Springs boyhood. Take Albert Pike Road out of Hot Springs, and, you know, I mean, it talks in the digs of gold and crystal, and the Morton Somer it goes over. I mean, there's so much information out here. One of the things that I thought was kind of interesting that it was bringing up was where they were talking about that they have the Neo-Babylonian mystery cult, as they call it, is the Hubs. And it kind of goes over, this was a post by a QAnon, posted by Gloria Vanderbilt with the necklace and the photos, and that kind of bringing it back to that one post we went over.
A bit of blood jewelry is what they call it.
Blood jewelry. And yeah, and there's an SKB that, you know, had something to do with Dino Voodoo and, you know, gang sacrifice, like literally gang sacrifices, and then they go into actual jewelry and draining. I mean, there's just so much out here, and I'm trying to go scroll down to the very bottom of it to kind of, for its, I mean, kind of in a nutshell. And it is, there's so much information here, you guys. It's so crazy to go through.
Yeah, and I'm looking, there's not, he's just, it's a political blackmail system, folks. This is where they get a little bit on everybody, make more people be more and more complicit. It was a hotbed, all right? The Clintons came up from that area. Bill was governor. They started their dirt there. It would be no understanding of why there's so much connectivity with Little Rock, Bill Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, drug running, pilots, training foreign people on our land, doing all kinds of plausible, deniable things where they're setting up, you know, I mean, at the end of this movie, it's a typical, you know, Barry Sills is getting all caught up. They finally turn their back on him. They act like they never knew of him, and he goes down. You know, it's a typical use and abuse. The federal agents don't put themselves in harm like this anymore for the sheer fact of, you know, you can't do drugs. You cannot partake in some of the stuff they have these civilians doing. So they'd rather just hire a civilian as a contractor, build them up, let them do all these crimes, and then if it ever truly comes back and gets a lot of attention, they deny it and burn all the paperwork, and then this guy's left all on his own with some story that nobody really wants to believe anyway. Mm-hmm. So
no, you know, exactly. And it also goes on to say that, you know, this is how really truly crooked and evil Hillary Clinton and her husband and who they associated with. I mean, where these facilities at, and I don't think people quite really understand really how much, you know, Clinton law, Clinton this, you know, she's a lawyer, she's not stupid, she's an intelligent person, so that's why we know how evil she truly is. She's you know, premeditating everything, and how close she was, and these people she works with, the organizations, the, you know, the excited, I got to buy a chicken and send it to some starving guy, and, you know, or girl in this, you know, really impoverished, you know, third world country. But it was really interesting that a lot of the countries that was Neon Revolt had named off, Haiti and these different third world countries. This is where we see the biggest commercials on mainstream media, pumping you to say just $1.25 a day could feed this child for a month, you know, and blah blah blah, and giving us all this sad story while building up, while really creating such heinous, treasonous acts that it's mind-blowing. And I want to keep on, you know, pressing the point that, you know, this is getting exposed in such a big way that you can't deny it, and so much that it's coming out in a way that it's very, very evil. You can't help to see how dark it is. That's why you have to be, you know, always, you know, be mindful of the light and be, you know, like I said, you know, the full armor of God. And because this is a crazy spiritual battle, and it is this deep, and that's why you do gotta keep your loved ones close and be aware of your environment and your surroundings at all times.
All right, there you heard it from Ben. We do a little bit of garage talk here, folks. We always are so grateful to have Ben with us and get into these shows with us like we're doing here. Again, this is kind of an older, couple weeks old article, still very, very prevalent to what's going on, and that's why we brought it up. We're going to get into some other Neon Revolt maybe articles, or just something else. We have something else planned possibly, so stick around. We're going to go ahead and shut this one down. We're at the 45-minute mark. So again, thanks for joining in. I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you worldwide, and we'll see you back here real soon for the next Patriot Hour update. Please, again, subscribe, share with all your social media platforms. Take a look in the description box for the articles that we went over here today, and leave a comment. Take a look in the comment section as well. Again, we'll see you back here real soon. Have a great evening.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
Hey, Froggy.